I borrowed money from her, and then stuff was getting worse. So she gave me permission to, and that's irrelevant because it's all in the past. To do things, you know, whatever she needed. And then I took upon myself and started writing checks on my own and using her discovery card without her knowing.
This is a lot of money. It's $110,000. You're not. I mean, it's going to be difficult for you to pay back. I could say that, but sometimes
that might be the understatement of the century. Not just that it's a lot of money, but it seems that she's kind of playing down what she did. She was a CNA working at a nursing home, and a 5-month investigation says that she was stealing from many of her elderly clients. Now, it is a unique case in the sense that, as far as we can see, this was her absolute first time getting in trouble with the law. At 54 years old, getting arrested for stealing from the clients who she was put in charge of taking care of. Now, a judge was not happy with that. Even though she was only initially given a $50 bond, when the judge decided to sentence her, he said 10 years, but suspended after 30 months, followed by 5 years probation. So we're about to watch this parole hearing, and I'll unpack it with what details we have and a new hearing at the end.
Dominga Bush, Dominga Juanita Bush, inmate numbers 241-634.
This hearing is being conducted in consideration of the parole application for Dominga Bush, inmate number 241-634. She is serving a sentence of 10 years, suspended after 30 months, 5 years probation. They want to count the varsity burst. As of today, records reflect parole eligibility of April 23rd, 2025. There is no victim input in the case. There is an independent accountability plan that has been reviewed and shows that she's completed anger management voices and is currently in the Tier 4 program. Utilizing the women's risk needs assessment, reportedly determines overall score for of any fault in moderate range. This motion is your opportunity to tell the board why you should grant parole. You may begin.
Yes, I'm about to say, excuse me, a little nervous. I have admitted to myself that I did something that I should have thought about twice before okay. I could admit today that I did took someone's money, and I could admit that it was not a right thing to do. I could admit that I have nothing to hide about what I did. I do want to apologize to the victim for what I did. But I moved forward. I came into your CI. I didn't get in trouble. I worked on all my skills. I learned new skills. I went to, I did anger management. I did voices. I did AANA. I do smart recovery. I participated in everything that was open and offered to me. I have no record of DRs, right? It's a DR. I have not received any tickets or anything. I think that if I make parole today, I'm going to go on the outside, and I want to do some more community work and help women, because I'm certified in recovery coach. I'm certified mental health drug addiction services. I want to be able to go out to the community and start a new chapter in my life, and work with women that's dealing with addiction and mothering children. And I also, no, I thank God I was able to get the tools that I needed, because if I'm out in the community, I have a goal and a plan to do what I have to do. And it's more opportunities for me, and my family's supportive. I coach here on the outside, a group, My Best Day, and it's still there for me when I get out. And we are setting a plan to go out to the community and work with support, the addiction that, the woman needs, try to help them get into recovery. Inside programs, I got people I can call to set them up to get into treatment, and then make a plan for them when they finish treatment to come out and seek the mental health. I'm still, when I go on the outside, I still need to get therapy for myself so I can stay on the right track. I need to stay where I continue meetings and, participate in the community. I haven't used in so long to where I'm ready to go out to the community and do what I have to do. And I have a big support team. I'm in a good support system, and I do want to apologize for what I did. And I have the skills that I need to go back out in the community. And that's it.
Thank you, Ms. Bush.
You're welcome.
So what we're doing here today is we've read about your history with this offense, what you've accomplished since you've been inside. Based upon all of that and your interview with the parole officer, we have some questions we'd like to ask you. Then we're going to talk about your case and we're going to give you a decision, okay?
Okay.
And we're going to start questions today with board member Zappo Sasser.
Okay.
Good morning, Ms. Bush.
Good morning.
So I would just like to spend a minute clarifying the timeline of some of what's happened here. We read in one of the interviews that you stated that you have been in recovery and sober for 10 years.
No, 20.
20.
Since 2001.
Okay. So when it comes to committing the offense, there was no substance misuse. What were you using the money for?
Paying my bills.
Okay. So drugs and access to drugs and buying drugs did not play a role in this offense.
No, it did not.
Okay. So it was strictly for economic paying bills.
Yes.
Okay. During this period of incarceration, you've been participating in Tier 4.
Yes, I have.
So even as someone who has a history with sobriety, what have you learned within Tier 4 about you, the offense, and moving forward?
Voices was a big part of my offense because they gave me the tools to use when I'm going through a stressful behavior. They gave me some stuff that I didn't know about. They gave me information about my crime. They gave me information about a lot of stuff that I didn't know about. So it helped me to put my focus on what I need to do.
Okay. You mentioned in your opening statement that you're certified in recovery and in mental health work.
Yes.
Where did you get those certifications?
C-Car in Bridgeport, when Mike asked you, I was going volunteering there and I made enough hours and they offered me to go to take the recovery coach certification. and I did it. And mental health drug addiction came from CVH, right, in Middletown? I did a class up there when I first started getting clean.
Okay. You had mentioned that you have a coach on the outside.
I have a sponsor.
Okay. Can you talk about that?
My sponsor is, we've been, connected for a long, since about 2 years after I got clean. We been doing this community work. It's called My Best Day. We do meetings and we sit together and make a plan of what's gonna go on the outside, what we wanna do out in the community. We try to set up a support team so we could support the people that really needs the help.
So this is a long-term sponsor that you've had.
Yes,
And how did your sponsor react when you told that person about your offense and that you were headed to York?
they was disappointed because we have a crew. She's our top. She runs this. She started it, and we have other co-chair, and they was very disappointed. And they walked me through, and they wanted to me to get the help that I need, and they wanted to know, can we start from this point on and move forward?
So you are to be commended for your sobriety over that number of years. I think that I don't want that to get lost in this conversation.
No.
But you have acknowledged in a lot of the interviews that you've done, as well as some of the documentation, that there were also mental health concerns. And obviously there were, money issues as well.
Yes.
You've referenced that you have a mental health relapse plan and that you're
Yes.
going to do counseling and do medication management as necessary. What else
Yes.
do you see that is necessary for your release plan in order to be successful? You've noted your community team, but what else do you see in the first 3 to 6 months upon your eventual release?
Doing my therapy, get more focused on myself, take self-care of myself, don't jump into nothing I can't handle. Just settle on myself before I try to move forward for going out to the community. I need to work on myself some more, and I want to still stay connected with recovery, like the system we have set up. So I want to be able to self-care myself, do what I have to do for parole, probation, and for myself. I have to take care of myself first. Then I could do all the rest will follow in place.
So I'm assuming that your money problems didn't go away while you're in prison. So what do you see doing for a job and to get yourself back on your feet financially?
Well, I'm going to start volunteering again at CCAR. I'm going to not go right back into getting a job, but try to manage and, balance my, where I'm going to get the income I need to. I have a support system right now. My kids are supporting me. They're making sure I do what I have to do before, I come out, and they're gonna take care of my kids is working. They're gonna take care of everything I need until I get out there and start putting applications in. And I'm the type of person, I can't sit around too long. I have to be very active with doing something in the community, even if it's crossing guard. I used to work for crossing guard too. That's what I forgot to tell you about the crossing guard. I used to work with the children, crossing the children, and I also like to go in the school system and try to help, the kids with trauma. I also would like to go do that on a volunteer basis. And then maybe I can get a job in the school. Maybe I can go get a job at any kind of drug facility and help the this is my goal. My goal is to go back out there and help the women. But if anybody come along that need that support, try to set them up to get where they need to be. So my income is gonna be going out there and get a job. But I have to take care of myself first. I don't wanna rush it. I don't wanna rush, because if I rush, then it's not good for me. So I wanna get my therapy set up. I gotta get my medical set up. I gotta get my doctor, go sit with my doctor. I gotta find a therapist. I got some things to do, before I go back to work.
Okay, that makes sense.
Mhm.
You had noted that you wanted to go to your to your daughters in Bridgeport, but I'm not sure if we've had confirmation from her yet.
Yeah, oh, my niece. That's my niece.
But that has not been confirmed. I don't think the parole officer has made contact yet. So
Okay.
your backup was a halfway house?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And going back to school, as you noted.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's what else. I did some college. I did some drug and alcohol education, but I was going to get certified for, what's the name of the program? In New Haven, I was going to Gateway. It's a certification for drug and alcohol counseling. I was going to get certified in that.
So before I move on to my next question, I would just encourage you to make sure your niece knows that someone's trying to reach out to her. If that is in fact part of your release plan, she needs to
Okay.
speak with the parole officer.
Okay.
Now, in going through some of this, and I think this will relate back to your voices work.
Mhm.
I understand that you were having a difficult time when you took the money. I found it interesting that at one point you said, she was my best friend. She was wonderful. But
Yes.
at the same time, you felt that it was okay to take $110,000 from her. And I'm struggling with understanding why you thought that was okay at that time and how you justified that.
I think I want to say this clear, and I don't want to, justify anything. I want to say this clear. I went through my struggles, and when I went through my struggles, I borrowed money from her, and then stuff was getting worse. So she gave me permission to, and that's irrelevant because it's all in the past. To do things, whatever she needed. And then I took upon myself and started writing checks on my own and using her discovery card without her knowing.
So she gave you an inch and you took a mile, so to speak.
Yes, yes.
When you initially started borrowing money from her, did you repay her at that time?
Oh, yeah.
In the beginning?
Yes, she was taking it out of my check.
We've seen in your history that there was this, kind of a mixed bag of references. Some people described you as a wonderful person and caring, and then others said you were not reliable. You had your substance misuse and some of your criminal history, but you're older now, right? And so
Yes.
I guess what I'm looking for is for you to just kind of sum up, where you are today in your life, your community support you've talked about. It seems like you have a relationship with your kids.
Yes. My sisters and brothers.
Okay.
Okay, let me think about that. I approved, can you repeat that again?
Well, I think just for you to say to me, you've talked about all these pieces, but
Uh-huh.
moving forward upon your release, do you feel as if you can make a path financially, emotionally, mentally, without having any of these, past behaviors weigh you down?
I would never touch nobody else's money, and I would do everything to take care of what I need. I'm not gonna touch nobody's stuff. I'm not gonna borrow. I'm gonna make me a account where it's my own money, and I'm gonna make an account where I save money. So when I do go through my struggles, I can go on my own account and get my own money.
And in terms of your struggles, you're on probation for 5 years. So,
Unfortunately, they don't have to
You're-
worry about me.
but your probation officer is part of your community team. And
Yes.
so you've been on probation before. You've only been successful 3 of the times. The other times you were not successful.
Yeah,
Excuse
That
me,
was
do you
my-
see,
Huh?
do you see this person differently this time?
yes, real differently. Real differently.
And would that person be one of the first people you call?
The probation officer,
Yes.
yeah, I asked for support. I talked to my sponsor, and then I'll call my probation officer and tell her how I'm feeling at this time. And then I talk to my sponsor. I probably talk to my sponsor first.
Did you have an opportunity to apologize to the victim?
Well, I told the police when I did the interview, I'm honest. I'm not gonna lie. Yes, I did take the money, and I was going through stuff right now. They added with somebody involved. I said, I am responsible for everything. Don't put nobody involved. I'm responsible. I blame my own self.
But did you have a chance to apologize to the victim?
No, they won't let me apologize to her. But I did send messages through the police department and the court system to say I apologize.
If she was sitting here with us today, listening to you, what would the apology consist of? What type of message did you send via the police department and the courts?
I would send this message. I would send to her, I apologize for what I did. I apologize for all I put her through because she was my friend and I can depend on her, and I broke her heart, and I should have been more responsible. Not taking her money, not even taking money.
Was restitution part of your sentencing, Ms. Bush?
Yes, yes,
So you have to pay that back.
yes, I do.
All right.
I'll
Thank
do
you
it.
for talking to me.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, board member Sensationalize.
Thank you, Mr.
Hi.
Chair. Hi, how are you?
I'm okay. How you doing today?
Good. My colleagues asked a lot of questions, so I don't have a lot for you. But let's just talk about Tier 4. You're in that program right now, right?
Yes, yes.
How long have you been in there?
I've
Been a while?
Yes, it's been a while.
How is it going?
It's going good. It's going good. I still participate in the meetings. I don't do anything. I do everything I'm supposed to do in the program, and, and try to help the woman out when they're going through their struggles as much as I can.
Okay. And I had a note that ends in April. Does that sound right to you?
Yes.
Okay. All right. One of the things that I read in the pre-sentence investigation, this was what they would have talked to you before you were sentenced.
Mhm.
You said you wanted to apologize. This was like what you were talking about through the court. And then
Mhm.
you want to pay her back and do what you have to do. You said, when I make a commitment, I make sure I keep it. I just want to pay the victim back from the bottom of my heart.
Yes. Yes,
That's
I
still
do.
that's still how you feel now?
Absolutely, yes.
This is a lot of money. It's $110,000. You're not, I mean, it's gonna be difficult for you to pay back. I could say that, but sometimes even small amounts, $5, $10 a week, it may show you're sincere about your apology. You understand that?
Yes, I do.
So I don't know when that time will come. You'll have to find a job and get situated first, But I would encourage you to, you said in here when you make a commitment that you're sure to keep it.
Yes.
I would encourage you to do that. Yeah, in
That's
some
right.
way, however you're able to. I understand that number is overwhelming and it's going to be very difficult, but you could make any kind of effort. I'm sure that people would appreciate it.
Yes.
That's all I have, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Board member Zapos.
So Ms. Bush is serving 30 months. Her parole eligibility date is in April, which coincides with the completion of the Tier 4 program. She has 5 years of probation to follow for the crime that really just, it's the financial crime of the $110,000 that was taken without permission from the person that she was the caretaker for. It's a serious crime. It's a violation of trust, which we all take seriously in terms of, the vulnerable populations. She is a moderate risk to recidivate, and she has had good institutional behavior. She has received no discipline reports and has participated in risk-relevant programming. And she has, what I have found through this conversation today, is she has 100% taken responsibility and acknowledged her crime and the impact that it's had on somebody who she considered a friend, and a friend that she took advantage of, because as she told us, it initially started out that she was borrowing money and repaying, and then it turned into this. She seems sincere in her recovery journey, and has the reputation of being clean for a long period of time, with a community support network in place. And one thing that I was impressed upon was that she is not rushing to do everything at once, and that she stressed the fact that she needs to balance her own needs and getting readjusted into the community and taking care of herself, mental health, therapy, etc., and starting with volunteering before getting a job and potentially becoming overwhelmed with a reentry. She does have good intentions with helping others. So, I do think that at this point, she has a relapse plan and a reentry plan that could be successful. And I would just echo what my colleague had to say about even the littlest of actions in terms of fulfilling what you need to do for restitution is also going to be a big part of your recovery and continue to make you feel good about yourself. So
Yes.
I know we can't stipulate that, but I think that that's a really important point in terms of coming to an accountability point with what happened to the victim. I am prepared to recommend Ms. Bush for discretionary parole today, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Board member Sazowski.
Yeah, I agree. She's done the programs, to express what she learned here today, and she has a realistic release plan. So I'm also in favor.
Okay, what would you have her do?
Due to the lack of response to date from the niece, I'm going to recommend halfway house placement. I don't have the name of the victim, but I would go with the no contact for that.
Rosemary
Yeah, don't-
Cecilia.
Right.
Yeah, I have it.
Okay, you have it. I'll get it. RC. And, I always struggle with the mental health evaluation piece, because it sounds like she knows that she needs it. So I'm not sure if we have to
I
do that
have
one.
it.
You have it?
I have it checked off.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. All right. So then I would like to pursue that as well.
So halfway house RC mental health evaluation contingent on Tier 4.
I'm sorry, yes, completion of the Tier 4 program in April, which coincides with her parole eligibility date.
She looks like she's in line to finish that.
Okay,
I'm finished.
So-
I'm finished.
so regarding, say that one more time.
I completed.
You'll complete
She'll
it.
complete it.
You will complete it.
Yeah, no, I'm done, she said. We had, what is it? What you call it? Stage 3, and they said I was completed.
All right, it's April.
Mhm.
So in regard to inmate Dominga Bush, 241634, moved grant parole on or after April 28th, 2025. Is that
Jesus, thank you.
23rd.
23rd?
23rd.
On or after April 23rd, 2025, contingent upon completion of Tier 4.
Yes.
And with the following stipulations that will apply to her discretionary parole. Halfway house placement if necessary, mental health evaluation and treatment is deemed necessary, no contact with victim or
Don't gotta
C.
worry about
Is there a
that.
second?
Second.
Those in favor will signify by saying aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. Ms. Bush, your parole has been granted. Your conditions will be explained to you prior to release.
Jesus.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you,
Okay.
Jesus. I need to give him a praise. Can I give him a praise? I need to give him a praise. Thank you, Lord. Thank you. I'm
Good
done.
luck.
Thank
You're
you
done.
so much. See me praise him? Yes. Thank you. God bless you.
Yes, yes, give him the praise. You're not giving the praise.
And hallelujah. Let's give some praise. I don't know. I kind of liked her response. We don't see that very often. It's nice to see. But let me just give you a little bit of background on how I feel about this hearing. So one is, and maybe you saw this parole hearing already, but right before she came in on this day's docket, another woman who stole $380,000 roughly dollars from one person who she was put in charge with, and then when locked up got a stealing write-up for stealing a bra. Here, I'll play the cut to remind.
Speaking of underwear, we do have a note that there was the bra situation where you stole a bra. All right. So to me, unfortunately, the pattern of, taking what you need kind of stood out. Can you explain what that was about in October of 24?
I took a bra.
Now, having a write-up for stealing a bra might not seem like the harshest write-up to have when you're up for parole, except if you're locked up for doing just that, for stealing. You see, she was slapped with a 10-year sentence, all suspended, but for 45. You see, did you see this hearing? No, I was thinking of playing it back to back, but I played it as a solo because it's an hour long. I'll put a link in the description if you haven't seen it yet. That hearing, see, if you see that one first and then this one, which I saw back to back, it changed the way I'm thinking about it. Okay. That woman, I did not like. I thought she was a professional con, trying to con the parole board. She checked every box of the bad con. In this case, I'm on the fence if she's a con who, like a chomo, puts themselves in a position to be a janitor at an elementary school. Did she put herself in the position to be a CNA around the elderly? Or once she was in that position as a CNA with the elderly, it crept up on her. It started small. She took $5 here. She took $10 there. And then it grew and it grew and it compounded and it piled on. And then it became too big that she was caught. That's where I'm on the fence, right? It's two different type of criminals. People do get stuck in that rabbit hole. And you see it happen with good, honest people, where whatever it might be in their job or their business, where they get over their heads, they start small. And you see this with business people all the time. But so I don't know where she is on that fence. It didn't seem like she was.
It's Swain, right?
Yes. Hi, good afternoon.
Shortly, thank you.
Thank you.
being, honest or owning it. But I don't know if she's a con person, right? That's all I'm trying to get at. you know, I'll share the little article that Lady Holly found. It's, you know, the amount of resources they invested in this, and also we don't have any additional record for her too. So think about that. Like now, Connecticut only shares 10 years of record, so it's possible that she did have a record. But at 54 years old, we're showing this as her first arrest, and the parole board did not mention anything else. So a woman working as a certified nursing assistant was arrested for stealing elderly clients' money from their bank account. At 54 years old, she was charged with first-degree larceny and third-degree forgery. She was released on $50,000 bond and is scheduled to appear in Danbury Superior Court. That's interesting. I read one article where she was released on $50 bond, but that was obviously a typo. $50,000 makes much more sense. According to Newton Police, Bush was charged following a 5-month investigation into allegations she stole and misappropriated money from her client's bank account while working with them. Quite different than the story of, oh, they lent me money, I used the Discover card. No total amount of money involved. And she said just one client. This seems to be multiple clients. As a result of their investigation, Newton Police detectives obtained an arrest warrant. Newton Police also said, unfortunately, the elderly population are frequent victims. Well, they are, and it's hard to get CNA nurses, and I think so many are probably straight up not qualified, and a lot of times people hiring them don't really care. And I don't know. Hopefully, you know, I don't know. What do you think? Did she con me, or did she kind of, you know, did she go there intentionally to rob them, or did it just creep up on her? But either way, check out the other hearing, which I'm referring to. But we're going to jump into one more parole hearing now. And this parole hearing, this one has a surprising twist. So with that, let's jump in.
Kelly Swain, Miami number is 338592.
This hearing is being conducted in consideration of the parole application for Kelly Swain, 338592. She is serving a sentence of 34 months flat for illegal take of a payment of a credit card, possession of a controlled substance first offense, use of a motor vehicle without permission, evading responsibility, injury/property damage, and 2 counts of failure to appear second. As of today, records reflect the parole eligibility date of October 3rd, 2024. There is no victim input in this case. There is an offender accountability plan for the offender. It has been reviewed and shows she has completed the Aftercare Maryland Baker program, Tier 4, People Empowering People, and she's in a medicated assisted treatment program. Utilizing the woman's risk need assessment, the offender's overall score for recidivating falls within the moderate range. Ms. Swain, this is your opportunity to express to the board why you believe you should be granted parole. You may begin.
I feel like I'm a different person than the woman that walked in through the doors. Since completing Maryland Baker, I've learned so much about myself. I've learned, I've gotten my self-esteem up. I've learned coping skills. The Maryland Baker really, really helped me a lot to turn my life around. I'm not, like I said, I don't feel like the same person. I feel like I've changed so much. I want to go back and work and be a productive member of society, get a job. I have a job waiting for me at Chili's. I also have done recovery coach. I have my certificate. And so I can, you know, I definitely was looking into getting a job with that also. I just feel like, you know, I deserve it because I've changed so much, and I want to, you know, go out into the community and do good again. You know, I'm just really, you know, excited about turning my life around, like how I changed I'm sorry, I'm just really nervous. I know this is a privilege, parole, but I really feel like I can, you know, be a productive member of society again.
All right. So I know you're nervous. So
Yeah.
we're going to be asking you some questions.
Okay.
So why don't we do that? And that might help with
Okay.
you getting all that information you seem to have inside you that you want us to know
Yeah,
about.
I just, you know what it is, when you get, yeah, it's
Okay.
like so much I want to tell you, but I don't want to forget it. That's what I was, sorry.
No worries there. we're going to ask you some questions and we'll kind of pull it all apart. After we're done with our questions, we will deliberate and give you our decision.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you.
All right. So Ms. Swain, I'll begin with the questions this afternoon.
Okay,
And let's just start with the charges. So you
Okay.
have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 separate charges. Couple of failure to appears,
Yeah.
using a credit card you knew that was not valid,
yeah,
and you took your mother's car. So all this is happening because, what did I
Oh, my-
say?
because of my drug addiction. I was so far gone into my drug addiction that, I would do anything to get the means to, use. And I know I've hurt a lot of people along the way, my family, my children. But yeah, it was all due to my drug. I know I had no business using, something that I didn't work for. It was, not mine. I had no business. And I know that.
Well, I think, is there restitution involved with the credit card to the taxi company?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm,
All right. And obviously your mother has her car back. And
yeah,
what's the status of your license from the motor vehicle accident where you hit the bus?
it's suspended.
It's suspended. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you have no probation or parole to follow this sentence. Yeah, a flat sentence.
Yeah.
I was going through your record, you have this big gap where you appear to have had a good amount of sober time.
I did really well. And I know the things that I need to do to go, to have clean time again. I had a job and I was, doing groups. I took care of my mental health. And that's another thing. I've taken care of my mental health. That's one thing I'm going to work on, like first. Like that really, ever since I've been put on the right medication, I feel so much better. But yeah, I had quite a while where I was clean, and it was mainly due to just working. So I know like what I have to do to,
Right. So I just wanted, so you said it was mainly due to working. Were you taking your medications?
Yeah, taking medication.
Going
I was
to
on
groups?
Suboxone.
Okay.
And I did groups, therapy. Yeah, I mean, I just felt good about myself too. I was working,
And looking
So-
back at your relapse, are you able to identify what some of the triggers were that led up to that relapse?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. That was a lot of things. I had a boyfriend who, at the time who kind of got me. I had a problem with crack cocaine, but I had stayed away from it. And all it took was to use it one time to, ignite back my addiction. And so I kind of, yeah, definitely I know the triggers now. It was a lot of things. I had lost my daughter at 6 months old. She had passed away. That kind of was very, traumatic for me.
Doesn't get much more traumatic than that, right?
Yeah, it's nothing worse. Yeah, absolutely. And my father had passed away, so that kind of, I didn't want to, and it was not, and I wasn't taking care of my mental health. Not, I stopped going to appointments. And I got into a deep depression, and I wanted that quick gratification, which obviously, not worth it though.
But I do get a sense that you are able to really reflect on what was going on and how you went down that path of relapse. So that is important going forward. I also, looks like you hit the ground running when you got into the Department of Corrections. You've done all the great programs, Tier 4, the aftercare program.
Yeah.
And you've done treatment before. Anything that is significantly different doing these programs than what you've done before, or how you've ingested the information?
Oh, absolutely. I've never been in an in-depth program like this before. Marilyn Baker. I feel like I worked a lot on my self-esteem since coming here. Also coping skills. I've learned so many even before the urge comes on what to do. And it's just like, I've done so many groups where like, it's taught me like meditation and things to, do when I feel like I want to pick up. And mainly, and another thing was working on my self-esteem. I've always had a problem with my self-esteem, and I think that's one of the reasons I used for like, to make myself feel like I belong. And that this group, Marilyn Baker, has helped me so much, like build my self-esteem up and be a leader. I'm a mentor there, an elder.
Great.
It's called. So I'm just, I try to help other women that are entering the program. Because I was so lost when I first came to prison. I was like in such a low point in my life. And like I said, I feel like a different person. I really do.
Excellent. All right. And I think mentoring and being an elder is a part of that whole process. We hear very often, you give, but you get too, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And when you're talking to somebody else, you're also reminding yourself the importance of different things.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. You're on the MAP program, and that's working well for you?
Yes, absolutely. I don't have any cravings, it takes care of all my cravings. I have, I have no withdrawal. It's just, and I feel like it's going to really help me when I get out, because if I do get out, to like get in a routine. Like that was another thing when I was, clean for those years. I got up, went to took my Suboxone, went to work, came home, took care of my kids. So I think, staying on it going forward, it's going to really help me.
Yes, I would agree. It's not for everybody, but for some people, it's a part of their recovery process.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then you're going to live with your mother and your two daughters that are at the house. Okay.
Yeah.
And you say you think you have your job back at Chili's, or you know?
Yes, my boss said I can come back as soon as if I am released, and like I said, I want to definitely look into maybe working at being a recovery coach. I've done ethics and professionalism too. I've taken those 2 classes, and I have those certificates. So I was hoping maybe to use it as a side. Obviously, maybe we get a job like in the emergency room, or helping other people that.
There's certainly a lot of opportunities for recovery coaches today. Lots of opportunity. You need to take care of yourself first, and then you move down the road, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, I see, I was reading, you have your goals and your priorities in check there, getting into treatment, your your mental health, your substance abuse, continuing with the MAP program, and going to meetings.
Absolutely.
So you don't have any disciplinary reports throughout this incarceration. So you've done really well. You've done a lot of things that we would want you to do to help you be successful in the community.
Thank you.
Panel member Page?
No questions. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Mr. Cole?
So Ms. Swain, do you have a recovery coach?
Yes.
Who is it?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Who is it?
Who teaches it? Ms. Kane. She teaches it. She comes in from CCAR.
Okay.
Yeah, and another Jennifer Reed is also Melissa. Jennifer Reed's the one that deals with it on the outside. So yeah, I did the pre-training. That was 10 sessions. Yeah.
So you misunderstood.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Who is your coach?
Oh, who is my coach? I was gonna call Jennifer Reed when I get out. And she can, like, as soon as I get out, to call her, and she can pair me with somebody that compatible.
So that's incredibly important, right?
Absolutely. I can't help other people until I'm like they say, manage your own stuff first. So one of the things you learn.
Your head's in the right place. That's all.
Yeah.
All right, Ms. Swain. So now we'll deliberate, and we'll give you our decision in just a few minutes.
Okay, thank you.
So I think it came out where I was headed on this case. I do think Ms. Swain has done a lot of hard work throughout her incarceration. Her charges are serious, but they're clearly related to her substance use. You know, she'll need to resolve her license. I don't know if there's restitution involved with the credit card, but there's nothing that she certainly can't work out. She does have a nice bit of clean time in the community, so it's evident that if she puts her mind to it and uses the right tools, she's able to remain sober and be productive in the community. She did all the right programs that we would like for somebody who's with her addiction history. She's got a support system in the community, sponsoring to her mother's house with her children, a job when she returns, and it looks like she's got her treatment and her mental health all noted as a priority and pretty much set up for when she gets in the community. So I would be in favor of granting her discretionary parole today. Panel member Page?
As would I.
All right, Mr. Pohl?
I agree.
All right. So in the matter of Kelly Swain, yes, I had no alcohol, mental health, and no contact with co-defendant Aaron Benston.
Bankston, yeah, Aaron Bankston.
Thank you. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay. Kelly, so in the matter of Kelly Swain, 338-592, I make a motion to grant parole on or after
Thank you guys.
October 3rd, 2024, with the following stipulations: no alcohol, mental health evaluation and treatment, and no contact with Aaron Benston. Do I have a second? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right. Good luck to you, Ms. Swain.
Thank you guys very much.
This completes the parole hearing for Kelly Swain, 338-592.
Hey, I didn't think she was ready. She didn't have a recovery coach. I thought she was being manipulative. I mean, I didn't think she had a game plan. Someone who has a clear narcotics problem, someone who admits to having it, someone who has a long record of doing things that are all tied to those type of issues. Even Holly says, wow, what a crime spree. I don't think she showed any signs of being ready to get out. But hey, what do we know? We don't have PhDs. We don't work in the DOC. We're not in the parole board. Surely they know best. So I'm willing to say comfortably that there is one thing we can guarantee, and that is that we will never see her back here again.
Kelly Swain, 338-592.
Present this morning is your parole officer, DeJohn.
Hello.
This is a preliminary hearing, which has three purposes under Connecticut law: to determine if there is probable cause to believe you committed an act that violated the conditions of your parole, to determine if the act is sufficiently serious to warrant the revocation of your parole, and to determine if you should be held in prison pending further proceedings. The state, not you, has the responsibility to show that there is probable cause to believe you violated one or more of the conditions of your parole. If I do not find probable cause, I will reinstate your parole, which means releasing you and placing you back on parole supervision.
I'm back just for a second to tell you again, she was paroled on August 30th, 2024. She's back March 2025. So it didn't take that long to end up back here in prison. And look at the difference just in the number of months of what it took for her to look really like quite healthy, her hair, everything else looking quite good, to just this. I mean, it looks right now like she's detoxing, right? I mean, it looks like she has all the symptoms. It's incredible to see what a short period of time with that poison can do to you. It's unbelievable. But anyways, let's jump back into the hearing, but a real quick first from our sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by Aura. Did you know companies can take months to report a data breach? On average, it's 277 days before you even find out that your personal data has been exposed. Think about that, 277 days. That means that your sensitive information, like your email, your phone number, even your financial details, can already be out there. Now, it's not just one company, but major banks and corporations, they've all experienced breaches in the past year. Maybe you've seen about it in the news. Your information could be compromised right now and you wouldn't even know it. Now that's why I use Aura. Aura scans the dark web and alerts me fast if personal information has been leaked. If someone tries to open a bank account or credit card in my name, I'll know right away. I have been using Aura for about maybe 9 months now. Something that they also do that really helps me a lot is keep spam callers away. That's a big bonus for me. They actually remove my name from those spam caller lists. Now, they also provide up to $5 million in identity theft insurance and a full suite of tools to keep you protected. And this is it's all done in one app. You can try Aura for free for 14 days at aura.com/Mandoo. And that's 2 weeks to find out if your data has already been exposed before you hear from a company months later. So why wait? Get some peace of mind and try out Aura for free. Take control of your digital security right now. And now, let's go back to the hearing.
If I find probable cause and determine that the act is sufficiently serious to warrant revocation, you may be held in prison pending further proceedings. Please note that you have been referred by the Department of Correction for diversion for substance abuse programming and treatment. If by the end of this hearing, I determine that you should be held in prison pending further proceedings, I will provide additional information about the diversion process. You should know that a preliminary hearing is an adversarial proceeding. Anything that you say at this hearing can be used against you. This hearing is being recorded. The testimony at today's hearing will be taken under oath. Ms. Swain and P.O. DeJohn, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear, solemnly sincerely affirm, as the case may be, that the evidence you shall give concerning this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, or upon penalty of perjury?
I do.
I
Thank
do.
you. Ms. Swain, did you want to say something before I continue?
No, ma'am.
No, okay. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
First, I will read you your rights. Then we will review the parole violation charges that the state your parole officer is bringing against you. Then I will review and identify exhibits filed for the record. Both you and the state will have an opportunity to address the issue of probable cause and the severity of the allegations. At the conclusion of this hearing, I will inform you of my findings, which will be based on the available evidence. Do you have any questions about the purpose or procedure before we begin?
No,
Thank
ma'am.
you. You have important rights at this hearing, which I now will review with you. You have the right to be represented by an attorney. You may hire your own attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, you may qualify for an appointed attorney to represent you. Do you intend to seek counsel for this hearing, or would you like to proceed without counsel?
Proceed without counsel.
You have the right to receive written notice of charges of violation. You have the right to review the evidence against you before this hearing. You have a right to submit evidence in support of your case. At this hearing, you have the right to call and examine voluntary witnesses and to cross-examine adverse witnesses. Do you understand these rights?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. We now will review the charges that the state your parole officer is bringing against you and the information underlying each charge. P.O. DeJohn, starting with charge 1, program participation.
Charge number 1 is program participation. On 3/6/25, you rendered a urine screen at the Apt Foundation that tested positive for cocaine, TCA, and methadone. This resulted in your unsuccessful discharge from the Apt Foundation. Charge 2, obey all laws, drugs. On 12/23/24, you rendered a urine screen that tested positive for cocaine and fentanyl. You admitted to cocaine and fentanyl use on 12/20/24. On 3/6/25, you rendered a urine at the Apt Foundation that tested positive for cocaine, TCA, and methadone. This resulted in your unsuccessful discharge from the Apt Foundation. On 3/6/25, you voluntarily admitted to having taken a Wellbutrin pill that was not prescribed to you.
The state has filed the following exhibits, starting with Exhibit A.
Exhibit A, Connecticut Conditions of Parole. Exhibit B, Notice of Parole Violation. Exhibit C, Parole Violation Report. Exhibit D, Remand to Actual Custody Order. Exhibit E, Apt Incident Report 3/6/25. Exhibit F, Signed Offender Misconducts. Exhibit G, Signed Offender Voluntary Admissions. Exhibit H, Apt Unsuccessful Discharge Report.
Ms. Swain, did you receive the notice of parole violation report, and the other documents that were just marked for identification purposes? Should have been like a parole package.
Yes, I did.
Okay, and did you have time to review it?
Yes, yeah.
Say we have no witnesses. And at this time, the state will have an opportunity to make a short statement and testify with respect to probable cause and the severity of the allegations. Pio DeJohn?
So I just want to say, listen, Ms. Swain was offered ample opportunities in the community via intensive outpatient treatment and then inpatient treatment at the App Foundation. Ms. Swain requested that I place her in the inpatient treatment program because she requested that she needed a higher level of care, and then continued to use illegal substances and also or another person's medications while in the inpatient drug treatment program. So this is why I recommended that she be placed in the top program to get further drug patient treatment.
Thank you. Ms. Swain, it is now your opportunity to respond to the parole charges against you. However, remember that you may remain silent if you choose to do so. Would you like to respond to the charges at this time?
Yes, please. Officer DeJohn is absolutely correct with everything she just said. Like, I've been battling addiction most of my life, and I really would like to, have an opportunity to get help for it. I made a bad mistake, and I agree with everything that, was said. I just really want to better my life, and I made a really bad decision that day, and, I hoping that, I can get better, in this top program, go to like a halfway house and get a job. And, I think that's where I made my mistake, not working right away and staying busy. I apologize. Officer DeJohn was more than she helped me a lot with getting help, and it's the addict in me. I don't blame anyone but myself.
Thank you. Pio DeJohn, anything further?
No, ma'am.
And Ms. Swain, anything further before I make my recommendations?
Oh, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. I'm just going to take a moment. On charge 1, program participation, I make a finding of probable cause based on testimony today, as well as state's exhibits A, C, E, and H. On charge 2, drugs, I make a finding of probable cause based on testimony today, as well as state's exhibits A, C, E through G. I find that the acts are serious enough to warrant revocation, and I have also determined that you should be detained while you wait for your revocation hearing. The Department of Correction has recommended you for diversion from the revocation process for substance abuse programming and treatment. This means that if you wish to participate and apply, and I find that you meet certain eligibility criteria, I can continue your case while you are provided an opportunity to participate in substance abuse programs and treatment in a correctional facility. If you successfully complete the program and treatment provided, I will dismiss your case and order your parole reinstated. If you do not complete the program and treatment provided, the board will schedule and convene a revocation hearing to determine if you violated the conditions of your parole. If so, the hearing examiner will make recommendations regarding whether your parole should be revoked and what, if any, sanctions should be imposed. The decision to participate in diversion is voluntary. Do you understand that the diversion process, and do you wish to apply for diversion, which is the top program?
Yes, I would.
I will now announce my findings with respect to your eligibility. If I determine that you are eligible, I can accept your application and divert you from revocation. I have reviewed all relevant information, and my findings are as follows. I find that you have no pending misdemeanor or felony charges. I find that your discharge date is more than 60 business days from the date of remand to actual custody. I find that there is evidence that you have identified substance abuse treatment needs. I find that your substance abuse is reasonably considered to be a motivating factor in your alleged failure to comply with the terms and conditions of your parole. And I find that there is some evidence that you received or were provided with an opportunity to receive substance abuse programming or treatment during your period of parole supervision in the community. I have determined that you are eligible for diversion for substance abuse programming and treatment. Before I accept your application for diversion, I ask that you indicate whether you understand the following by answering yes or no. I understand that I will remain incarcerated while I receive programming and treatment, and that the parole revocation proceedings may be delayed as a result.
Yes, I understand.
I understand that the dismissal of my case and reinstatement to active parole supervision is not guaranteed and is conditioned upon my successful completion of substance abuse programming and treatment.
Yes, I understand.
I understand that ultimately the Department of Correction will determine whether I have successfully completed the substance abuse programming and treatment provided.
Yes, I understand.
I understand that my participation in this process is completely voluntary.
Yes, I understand.
Your application for diversion is granted. You will be placed in treatment or programming by DOC and diverted from the revocation for no more than 60 business days. So this concludes your preliminary hearing. So as long as you successfully complete the top program, you would be reinstated back into the community.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very
Thank you.
much. And thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Officer DeJohn, and thank you, Ms. Saunders.
No problem.
Should I leave?
Yeah,
you
you're
too.
all set. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
You know, it's kind of like watching the Louisiana hearings. It's like, in lieu of revocation, we'll send you to the Steve Hoyle program, except like the long-term substance abuse Steve Hoyle can be like 9 months long. This is the maximum 60 business days. And it's kind of funny because it's like, really? You know, she just spent all this time in prison. She gets out and now a 60-day program is going to fix her. Yeah, the only way that maybe it can is if finally she's ready. The bottom line is we heard her say all the right things here. She's like, you know, I'm an addict. I have a problem. And that's all true. That's all true. And look, she didn't have any new misdemeanors, no new felonies, although, you know, it doesn't seem like she's not hurting children. She's not, you know, at least in this time, it just seemed that she did some dirties. But let's also keep in mind that I thought we saw in her last parole hearing one where she was not ready. She has like not hit her rock bottom yet. She is not yet ready to be sober. And all the thousands of hearings that we have seen, you can kind of tell those who are ready and those who are not, those who want it and those who don't. And you got that vibe at the end of that hearing. And I still get the same vibe now, frankly. It's just going to be a cycle, a merry-go-round until she finds rock bottom or worse. Not everybody makes it through. That's just my opinion. You know, really, I felt like you could see it coming from the last hearing. And we do see a lot of these. Now, again, remember, so instead of it being an official revocation, she'd go into a 60-day business day program where the maximum it is actually 60 days. Who knows? Maybe she'd complete it in 30. And if she messes up, then she'd have another rescission hearing because she messed up. And we've seen that. We've seen those type of hearings where they have the diversions and they screw up and they come back. It's all in the playlist, the return of playlist. And if we do see her again, we'll play it back to you. I didn't get the vibe that she's even ready yet. And it's not that I disagree with their approach, but I do want to point out that this doesn't work against their data. This doesn't work against recidivism, right? Like the only requirements even to get into this program was that you had to at least go 60 days from getting out of prison, and you couldn't have a new felony or misdemeanor charge pending or conviction to instead of getting revoked, go through this program. Now, I mean, her record, like the details of it, thank you, Holly. You know, you have offense at 2020, larceny first degree. You have this is what she got her 10-year sentence for. Nurse. Oh, no, I'm looking at the wrong document. My bad. Where is it? I don't know. Okay. This is this it? Yeah, this is it. Okay, here we go. And I know I'm not screen sharing it. I can screen share it for y'all if you want to see it. Paints a picture. Thank you, Lady Holly, for putting it in this format. So, credit card theft, which is the classic, right? She got 34 months. It's funny though, for this, she gets 34 months. The woman we saw before who stole over 100 grand got, I think, less time, right? What is this? Illegal payment of card, 11 months jail. Evading responsible injury. So that seems like a hit and run. 6 months jail. That's what it looks like to me. I don't know for certain. Use of a motor vehicle without permission, that's 6 months jail. Is that the same date, 11/25/2022? And no, that's a different date, I think. Possession of controlled substance. This judge likes the 11-month jail. 11/27/2022. Failure to appear, second degree. Failure to appear, second degree here. It's like it was like a crime spree. And what do you think? You think she'll be successful, or you think we'll see her again? Oof. With that, I'll let you go.
So Ms. Swain, do you have a recovery coach?
Yes.
Who is it?
Wait, I'm sorry, say that again.
Who is it?
Who teaches it? Ms. Kane, she teaches it. She comes in from CCAR.
Okay.